Yeah, it's gonna take a while to start up, so I'll just...
And welcome back, everybody, to the First Circuit podcast number 39. In fact, let me go. Our amazement in how we do things is incredible. Anyways, thank you very much. This is podcast number 39. I had some problems there, but we are going to be talking about certain things for Battletech and for Mechwarrior Online. First off, we have the patch notes. The Motherlode Cell, more Slurris deals. The new city map, which is coming out. Mayday event. Mercenary 5 new video that came out, very, very cool video. And then also Battletech, devs reveal the future of Battletech as well. So first off, we're gonna go with the patch notes.
I'm here, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, we
crew.
we have a skeleton crew of just me and Biter. So Biter, go and say hello there.
Hello again.
Yay, hello Biter. So how's your week so far, man?
Not been too bad. I've finished up as I said last week, finished up the campaign of Battletech. So, I've actually been hankering to playing some Mechwarrior Online, and they came up with the event. So every other day or so, I've been doing the event stuff.
Oh yeah, true, huh? True. Yeah, I plan to do some more Battletech. I actually changed up everything for my Battletech game though, like on YouTube. Changed it so actually it's gonna be very, very hard. I have to use only stock builds, and only I can replace the same exact weapon but with a plus or plus. So it's gonna be pretty cool.
Made it too easy for you with my vague sage advice to start with.
Oh god, you made it so easy, dude. That's the problem. That's the issue though, to tell you the truth. But
well, in the future, at least, we look forward to, as we saw covered, they're going to do difficulty modes and whatnot. So you don't even need to, stick with the stock builds type thing you're doing. It's just crank up the difficulty,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I might actually do that like later on though, to tell you the truth. But for now, I think it's gonna be harder just using stock builds. I mean, literally.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I really have to. So.
You really want certain mechs for salvage at that point, because other ones are going to be real tricky to stick around with sometimes.
Oh, definitely, man. That's gonna be harder than hell, but it's gonna be interesting though. It's gonna be fun though. Like, to tell you the truth, it'll be great. And I just started, so basically, I'll be fighting a bunch of lights and mediums. I want to actually get into the heavy stuff, like until I actually do a couple missions.
Yeah. All right, though, I think we have plenty to cover in the field of Mechwarrior Online, though, with these patch notes.
Oh, yes.
So, first things first, at least, the new patch is coming out, as usual, I think, next Tuesday.
May 15th?
May 15th, next Tuesday. And there's a new mech and a whole bunch of new stuff. So, let's go and cover the Blood Asp again.
Do we have to?
Well, are you getting the Blood Asp?
No, actually, I didn't. I didn't purchase it. It's a clan mech, so I don't really purchase that many clan mechs unless it's like some iconic mech that that's stands out that I have to get type thing. Like say a new new Mad Cat or something like that. And that's the only time I actually purchase.
If there's like an mechs. Urban Mech 2C.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll, like Warhammer 2C or something like that. I'll have no problem getting those types of mechs.
Yeah. All right. I'm picking up just the standard pack. It being an Omni mech, it means I'm not getting all the Omnipods, but eventually, at least, I'll be able to equip the reinforcements. As I said, at least initially when we covered it, it's going to be one of the biggest clan assaults with ECM, typically with ECM. And that means, at least predominantly, a lot of the time, you're going to be wanting to use the at least if the ECM is valuable enough, the standard pack variants, the A and the B, which have ECM and the CT, whereas the reinforcements and the hero don't even have that option because, of course, you can't switch center torsos.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so, like, didn't we decide that basically using only one of these mechs is like the best option? Like, I think it was the B or something like that. Or the A, I'm sorry, like the A or B, basically. Since you can swap out the Omnipart points.
Yeah, I mean, like, we still don't know what the quirks are and how they're distributed, of course. If it is even going to be quirked up at all. The A, of course, has a CT jump jet and ECM. If having just a single jump jet is nice for that mobility,
Yeah.
then you'll want the A. Whereas if, of course, you want to save a couple of tons and not really bother with jump jets at all, you go with the B.
True.
Otherwise, at least looking at the preview images, it's indeed got kind of the issues I was worried about, at least with the arms and the CT missiles being a bit low, particularly the arms.
Yeah.
Meaning, at least a lot of the time, you want to focus on the side torso hard points, and that there's, I'll be interested. I want to see how I can actually build this thing, but just a dual ballistic up top necessarily isn't enough firepower for a 90-tonner.
No.
Typically.
You got to do a
And
couple other things, but like I have been seeing a lot of Mad Cat 2s like run around with like double heavy or double cost rounds, and that's been going pretty well.
yeah, the Mad Cat Mark II, though, the Gorse is in the arms.
It still hurts though.
Oh yeah. But the thing is, with the Gorse rifles, they're very prone to exploding and they do a whole bunch of damage. If you put them in the side torsos, though, side torso Gorse makes your mech feel a lot squishier, and you have to be really cautious with using it.
Yeah.
And that's why at least the Marauder 2C and the Mad Cat Mark II, the ones with the ballistics in the arms, you put Gorse rifles there because, yes, the arms blow off more quickly, but at least you aren't losing the whole side torso and all the weapons on that side and all the
True.
attendant issues of heat management.
But still, the high mount is actually pretty good though. Like I've been exploiting a couple high mount weapons on the IanDresarie mechs, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been great actually.
Yeah, it still looks like it's a big giant walkie torso a bit. The arms are, they're not the best shields in the world, I don't think. They're not too bad though, but this will be a really much a wait and see because, of course, with clan tech, it performs really well. Like a lot of them, they don't even really need quirks to still be able to pump out a bunch of damage if they're left unmolested. And I'm sure the
True.
Blood Asp with ECM will be able to, get off some good alphas before the enemy really notice it is there.
True. Yeah, ECM does help though.
Yeah, the ECM is going to be a big thing in how surreptitious a giant walking 90-ton monster can be.
True.
So, I mean, in my mind at least, I'm comparing this mentally to a Marauder 2CD, the one that also has ECM, the 85-tonner.
Mm-hmm.
And that one has some really awkward hard points for the most part, but it still gets the job done. The Blood Asp has a much more upright posture, and it's kind of much more obvious when it pokes around a corner or whatnot, but those high mounts and much more variance in what you can put into the hard points means it'll be at least an interesting contender.
Yeah, still, it's a clan mech. I'm not too hyped about it though. Everyone's going batshit crazy like over it though, which I understand if you're a clanner though. Don't get me wrong. I'm not too heartless, but like I know a lot of people just love that type of mech when they used it for Battletech, the like tabletop. So
I mean, clans already have plenty of 90-ton assault mechs, but you got the Highlander 2C, you got the Supernova, the Mad Cat Mark II, and now a Blood Asp as well to add to that wide, large stable.
Yeah, true. But still, it'd be good for clanners, I guess. But but we talked about the Vulcan though coming out for the Inner Sphere, so I'm kind of happy about that. But of course, I don't know if I'm gonna buy it though, to tell you the truth. It's still it's a very iconic mech that I used back in battle, like on the tabletop. But for the translation into BattleTech, it just won't be that immersion effect like for me though.
It's going to be a funky one with its shape in terms of game balance.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last thing, at least I think we should cover with the Blood Asp is Solaris. It's going Division 1.
Yes, you're right. You're right on that. It's all going to be one.
That means it's going up against the Annihilators, the Dire Whales, Mad Cat Mark IIs, I think, are up there.
Yeah.
Whole bunch of stuff. I'm not sure, at least as a clan Omni-Mech, it doesn't have the build versatility as those other ones, and you're stuck with the certain hardpoints, and the ECM isn't so valuable in that circumstance.
Well,
So
yeah, like in Solaris, it really doesn't make that much of a difference, to tell you the truth.
yeah, so
At least I think.
exactly, it's I'm just saying, at least I imagine this thing's coming up against a lot of stiff competition, and I'm not sure how it will fare in Solaris, but I feel like at least there's a whole bunch of battle mechs out there that are probably going to be able to wipe the floor with it in terms of pod space and bringing plenty of DACA, this, that, or the other.
Oh, definitely. Well, like we'll see basically when it comes out though. Like we'll see how it how it performs, and we'll always do like a how's this mech looking like podcast next week.
Yeah. Hopefully enough of this, not just me going to give this mech a try.
Yeah. Well, like hopefully.
At least we can go. We can go blood-ass hunting.
Yeah.
just like ever with a new mech.
Oh, roughneck hunting, that was fun. Oh god, I love that. So that was so much fun. I did an awesome video like on that too, man. It was so good. Loved it. I loved it. Like I think Ian was with me and a couple other people, and we just went balls to the wall against roughnecks just killed them.
Well, yeah, that was how I sort of ingratiated myself to you or whatever. It was like you were doing the thing, and so I was like, oh, I'll join the Discord.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And I ran around in the Orion VA just smashing face with a true brawler.
It was fun. It was fun.
And I equipped the Roughneck Warhorn because I had actually got the Roughneck, but it was like I'm just going to outbrawl the lot of them whilst also using their Warhorn just for the extra irony.
Yeah, actually, like I got the Roughneck as a gag gift, and like, oh, damn it. Well, I guess I'll use the Roughneck Warhorn now too. But yeah, I was so pissed. And my wife laughed her ass off too. Like when I found out about that.
Yeah, I do remember. So, that's the Blood Asp. Expect a lot of 90-ton clan assault mechs to be prowling the field. If you're trying to take a learn boat to do that tryhard event or whatever, do it before all these ECM mechs come on. Though I guess at least the ECM will be bargain basement. It's not got full warranty out of the gate.
Well, like basically, like I know in Faction Warfare, the problem that we had for the Intersphere, it's like if you brought missiles, you're pretty much like SOL, and most of the clan mechs do have ECM. So you're looking at, I mean, might as well not. Anyway, in general though, expect a clan mech to have ECM. So I wouldn't bring Lerms if you can help it, unless you're going against me, which I'm a like crazy Intersphere pilot.
Yeah. It's I mean hiding under the the banner of ECM is goes well with the clanner's fighting style. So that's why you see a lot
bunch of hiders, right? Yeah, I know. True. All right. Next we got the city, right?
Next is Solaris City that we've been hearing for a while about. It's there's not much new necessarily on the table, I think, at least in the patch notes. They are noting this map will be quite processor intensive.
Yes.
So it's going to be one of the slowest maps that they've ever created. And no doubt there might be some problems, but they are looking to, if any problems do come up, they're going to prioritize that in a hot fix, no doubt.
And don't freak out, everyone. Basically, if you start getting frame rate drops, they're going to try to fix that. So they'll probably take off a couple lights, take off Tina, like off the billboards and everything. So just let you guys know about that. And yeah, like you're right. The processor is going to be crazy. I mean, like I think we talked about that. Like when it first came out, we're like, man, that's going to be a lot of processor space to go and deal with that stuff.
It's always been the thing that they've been trying to deal with, because I think they wanted to make a really pretty city map, but they also, of course, limited by the technology.
Yeah, true. But it's gonna be pretty though. It's gonna be very pretty.
Do you see the mini map preview?
Yes, I do. That's cool.
Yeah, fairly symmetrical map, all told, at least in terms of its overall design. At least when I'm looking at these roads. So I hope at least it's going to be, it's actually going to be a fairly balanced map in terms of both sides starting with the same type of architecture.
Well, it looks like in the center you got your center park, right? And then you got the
Mhm.
buildings that are like on a kitty corner like of it. Then it goes out again to another square, and then you have like kind of open area on the top part. Looks like those are like parks or something like that. And then you go to the left hand side, it's all suburban housing, basically like buildings and stuff like that. So that's gonna be like a really good spot for like lights to go through and not be hit. And then you're looking down below to the bottom, and it looks like it's the same thing as the left hand side, but a little bit less sparse than that. Then the right hand side is the same as the top is.
Yeah. The difficult thing with this minimap is telling how big or whatever these actual buildings are. I'm assuming like if you see the big gray blocks, those are actually really big
Yeah,
towers
yeah.
that they haven't bothered putting much detail on top of, and those are your big giant site blockers.
Well, if you
So
see the map though, like see the preview like image where it shows like those big ass buildings, and that's probably like what it is.
yeah, exactly. So there's quite a bit of site blockers, as I had said. Like the issues are, I imagine that with that preview image, it does look like there's some longer ranges you can engage at,
Yeah.
but there is a lot of occlusion all over the place. Um, It'll be very interesting to see how this thing actually plays out, and we have very little clue how it all pieces together thus
Well, it's just
far, at
like
least from the.
Rubelite though. It's something new, and
Mm,
I think you're talking about. I think we talked about it like before too. Like Rubelite just had something new, a new element, and so like it has up and down. Because like I
yep.
see, like I'm the only one down below, but I see my guys like on the top, like on radar, going, "Come on, guys, let's go!" And then basically, I'm the only one charging, like down below, like everyone's on top. This probably has the same type of aspect as far as like you might be near somebody, but they're on a different block, which would be pretty cool and pretty interesting to see how the dynamics of how people team play this.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Like, at least with these tall skyscrapers, they are complete blockers, just like the big giant mountains in Rubelate like Oasis.
Yeah.
Um, so in fact, like my suspicions might be that this map plays like a very flat plain with a lot of giant mountains around, rather than necessarily there being too much verticality in play. In which case, at least, it might encourage a lot of hard pushes and flanks. Teams moving and dackering each other at range,
Yeah.
because there's not so much in the way of rolling hills to stay low to the ground and get close to the enemy. So um, it will all depend, at least, how supreme long-range weaponry can work on this map, and how effective it is to try and push a corner with a brawler loadout.
You know how like they're always like complaining on like on Polar Highlands about, I'm a brawler, man, can't get in there. This would be a perfect map for them. Oh my god.
It might. The thing is, at least with a brawler, I like to, you push around a corner, but obviously there's important skill to exposing yourself to as few enemies as possible
Yeah.
while still being right in their faces. If you push around a corner and all 12 mechs can shoot you, you might get an alpha off before you evaporate, of course.
True. True.
Whereas if you've got lots of occluding terrain and up hills bouncing up and down, you move around that corner, you see there's 5 mechs, and you quickly dive down into a lower part of the map and shoot at one foe who is badly positioned themselves.
Yeah, and
On
this
this
one you
map,
can't.
though,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no rolling hills to give you that type of advantage. So if there's everyone sitting around one big giant building and you push around that corner, there's all you can do is go back and expose yourself to only the farthest most element. You expose to the enemy one at a time. So there might be some very interesting corner pushing going on here, a bit like River City, if you think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
With the Citadel, you're funneled through a choke point, so to speak, and everyone's hiding behind the Citadel, and you're exposing to a large number of guns. And it depends which team has more metal and which team wanted to engage in the brawl more. And
True.
that's at least what I'm saying could totally happen with this map, because just like with River City around the Citadel, when you're pushing from the water, it's completely flat. There's not too much in the way of cover, though even there was more cover than this.
Well, actually,
on average.
It might be just like Crimson Strait, like during the tunnel. So basically, I mean, you have a couple avenues to go through, and so you really got to decide, like you can only fit like maybe 2 to 3 assaults going through there. going in, and you have to push with those assaults. And so basically, hopefully, you're not going to be backstabbing your own dudes trying to get the damage in, but at least assaults will be coming in. And so it just like you said, the amount of metal that you have on those city streets would be like what will determine a win or not.
Yeah. So this map, as ever, we'll have to wait and see. But I think a lot of it may go down to overall team quality rather than individual contributions, unless you've got a long-range Dakar mech and you choose a really solid position where you can pivot easily on the enemy movements.
Hold on, you're asking a lot, man. A team game, come on. This is not a team game. This is Call of Duty, buddy.
The other interesting thing, at least particularly this being a new map, is the modes that are currently supported were on launch.
Yeah,
It's
like
only assault, conquest, skirmish, and domination. There's no incursion or escort.
That's good. Because I don't think actually the escort can actually walk through the city, like, anyways.
You'd think at least he doesn't get stuck in a hill this time.
True, I know.
Well, it implies it's a smaller map, perhaps, because at least you do incursion and escort on the bigger maps, and maps like Canyon Network, there's not really enough space to fit the bases in and all that.
Yeah.
And I think obviously they probably made the map smaller because of how processor intensive all the stuff is. You don't complain about the buildings being really hard to, make easy to render and then put a ton of them in, do you?
I'm just worried about that. People will be put off because of the processor. The processor's like intensive map, though. I'm just worried about that, though. If
initially on launch it runs terribly, then people will perhaps avoid it like the plague if their computer can't run it.
Well, how would they avoid it, though? Because people actually pick it.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas everyone else, if their computer's good enough for it, they'll say, "Hey, I want the new map. It's cool." The thing, at least with the selection of game modes, means in the vote screen, it's only going to come up against other maps that can also only do assault, conquest, skirmish, and domination. So if you're at the bottom got escort or incursion as options, then Solaris City will never come up.
True.
Depending on how much people want to play the new map, they might be really annoyed when it's like, oh great, now we have to choose from the escort and incursion maps again. I want Solaris City.
Well, like in general, though, like don't they actually up the algorithm so that actually this map does get put in play a lot more?
I don't know. I hope they do something like that because it's totally something people want to play. And I think like with Rubelite Oasis, didn't they do an event which was like, you
had to be on it
number of times. Yeah.
God, that was so stupid, Russ. Please don't do that. Do not do that, because every single time, people were picking other maps than that freaking map you need to get on to go do the event. Do not pick a map where it's dependent on the player population to do something. Please don't do that. That's my only issue about the events. Jesus, it's like that UAV event for the Mayday thing. Oh my God, don't do that, please.
We'll have to wait and see. They're already doing plenty of events as is, though to some degree you do want to capitalize on the hype or whatever. Like if people really love the look and feel and the gameplay of this map, you want to draw people to it. And if people keep picking it all the time anyway, it should be fairly easy to do.
It's new, so everyone's gonna want to go play it. Like, anyways, I know I'm gonna run around in like testing grounds and go look at it basically, but everyone's gonna be wanting to pick this map anyways to go play it.
All right. Shall we move on with the patch notes? Bolt-ons.
Yay, bolt-ons, finally. Like would be nice. Like I think we talked about that. Have like a spreadsheet of like what mechs can actually have bolt-ons. Because like for the longest time, you're like, okay, let's go through this mech and see if this guy can have it, type thing. Did they ever make one of those? Like on their site or something?
I mean, for these patch notes, all they do is list the mechs that now can do bolt-ons, and it's alphabetical.
Yeah, but do you remember like what patch notes were on like 7 patches ago? What happened? No, you don't. Basically, that's what they need. You need like a spreadsheet saying, okay, here are all the mechs that can use bolt-ons. Like just a little caption which has a link to everything that can happen that way. Like I think Kanagashi will actually like want to go do that. Kanagashi, you do this, man. You will be a god. Do this, please.
I mean, the best thing, like at least, I mean, I imagine what you want to do is you don't even have the bolt-on tab appear on mechs that can't equip bolt-ons, so that people don't get false ideas. So instead, it's just you select a mech, you select cosmetics, and you see there's if there is the bolt-on tab, you can click on it and there's bolt-ons. Because the most annoying thing is clicking on a mech and sometimes not really knowing if it has bolt-ons and have to go through all these menus to get nothing.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if it just didn't appear, then you'd never have the false start. And if it's there, then it's available in the game. But to cover what has been said in the patch notes, they're now up to 24.7%. So basically almost a quarter of all the mechs that are out there have bolt-ons, and they are also expanding the repertoire of bolt-ons. And they show a picture of a rifleman with like some ghillie camo,
ghillie suit, yeah,
ghillie suit put on top of it. Compared to the tacky other things that I've been seeing, this is actually not half bad.
Yep.
My only issue is that's a whole set of ghillie, and that's going to cost. Let's see.
Wait, hold on. That's each
250 MC.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's a little bit expensive.
It's not one piece. It's what's that? 5 pieces, 250 MC each as a guess.
1250. That's like $7, man. Right there, just to get the ghillie suit. Oh my god.
And all that stuff will fall off instantly.
One hit, yeah, basically from some a-hole with a flamer running around, like on your own team. So yeah, I know PGI has to make money, and I don't fault them for doing this. Don't get me wrong, I don't fault PGI for doing this. But $7 to have a full ghillie suit, people pay more money for other things, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think I will. I'll just wait for the caches, I guess.
Expanding the number of mechs that have these bolt-ons also means at least it's harder to actually kit up one variant with all bolt-ons if you're doing it just by boxes, because the number of mechs are getting these are growing and growing and growing over time.
Exactly, but at least you have something like, I want Tusk like on my Uzil. That'd be kind of cool, type thing. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah. I imagine there, at least to some people who like making their mechs pretty, and if you want all your mechs to look kind of more serious, you could put them all under ghillie suits and have a thing going on.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of money,
kind
though.
of cool, but so much money, I'm not bothering with this. I haven't bothered with bolt-ons at all.
I mean, like, I messed around with it, like, when it first came out, and, after the first, like, 30, 40 minutes, I'm like, okay, cool, type thing, and I rarely see this, and my estimation when I actually had said it kills immersion, I haven't seen any bolt-ons, like, in quick play, so I don't think it's going to kill, like, anything. I was wrong. Mark it on the calendar, guys. I was wrong on that, so, yeah,
we'll
okay.
have to wait until stuff like the Mad Cat Mark II gets bolt-ons. Yeah, mechs that are very commonly picked, the Hellbringer, etc. The mechs that they initially came out with are, of course, not necessarily the most commonly picked. So, we'll have to wait and see how bolt-ons manifest. Like, this could be something that takes a long time for it to truly manifest. When people get their favorite mech, they might want to pretty it up.
True. Still a cool idea. Like, I know PJ has to make money, so this is pretty good for them to do it, and keeps them going for Mechwarrior 5, so I'm okay. I'm good. That's good. Okay, gameplay tuning.
So they're moving a fair number of mechs around in the Solaris divisions. Now, at least from the patch notes, it doesn't say much, at least in particulars. It says, there's a handful of sub 50-ton mechs that are punching quite a bit too high above their weight. So something maybe like a Vindicator on Division 7.
You like that Vindicator, don't you?
Well, it's a walking blob of armor with a whole bunch of weapon quirks. And at least to some level, put the MRM40 in the Vindicator 1X, and
Taylor,
and just sandblast people point blank in the face, and they can struggle to beat back down fast enough.
Yeah.
That's at least my guess as a sub 50-ton mech that's really punching above its weight. Whereas, like, I'm not sure like how overpowered something like, for example, the Phoenix Hawks have been performing, or the Hellspawns even.
I tell the truth, I played Slayer 7 for like 10 matches, I think, and that's it. And the one thing that's really deterring me from Solar 7 is actually the skill tree. Like, I know, like, Larsh was talking to Russ about, saving skill tree loadouts, like have a couple of them, like for your mechs, like one for quick play, one for faction play, and one for Solaris or something like that. And that's the one thing that's really determined, because I don't have time to go through my skills and go, okay, I got to go through the skill tree. Yeah, I might do really quickly, but do I want to do that? Do I want to go through the skill tree for this and then flip over and go, okay, I'm going to play quick play like with this mech, so I'll go through the skill tree again and flip it over to like whatever it is that I want to go do, but just picking the skill nodes. Or I could just click a button, quick play mode, like quick play skills, boom, done. Or like Solaris mode, cool, doom, done. I want to do that instead of spending my time doing that kind of stuff. And that's one thing that's really deterring me from doing the matches.
Just looking at the Solaris 7 divisions, it was updated. It's updated for the 15th May patch. So if you still have that in one of your bookmarks, you can go and check out how things will go. So, for example, I did say the Vindicator 1X, that has been moved up from Division 7 to Division 6, for example. Oh, okay. Though, of course, the Vindicator 1R is still in Division 4 because it is a god amongst men, apparently. And they still want to make one of my favorite mechs still not that viable.
Oh, really? Nah, come on.
It's going up against some real tough competition. The Vindicator 1R, and it's a energy boat / PPC mech,
Yeah.
It's just, why is that one so far above? I still don't know why. Otherwise, I have not much clue necessarily. It will take forever to look through this all and figure out how things are going. But Huntsman's still stuck in Division 1, Arctic Wolf 1, Division 1, Quick Draw Hero still in Division 1.
Yeah.
Etc. etc. So I think obviously at least check that out Division 1 patch launches and whatnot, and see where your favorite mechs have gone, if they've disappeared entirely or not at all. Division 7 still has the Yenlo Wang and the Shadowhawk hero, so those two mainstays are still around. Because now I'm just like, where's my Skokomish gone? Has that gone up and down? Nope, it hasn't. Okay, very good. And I think there was like a lower division, there was the Cataphract. Has that moved? Because that was doing quite well. Yeah, I think it might have moved.
Well, it said like they're not doing anything mid-season. However, there's being like we want to quickly address a handful of outlets that cropped up over the first month, which they said they're going to do like when they first did it as well.
Yep.
So yeah, I totally expected this, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, so the Cataphract that was in Division 5, it's the one with ballistics in both arms, has gone from Division 5 to Division 4. It was the clear standout of that division, at least to some degree, because it's a giant walking blob of armor with rapid-fire Daka, and all the other mechs in that category, like catapults and thunderbolts, riflemen, maybe dragons, but otherwise, it was like the tankiest thing on the field with plenty of pod space because it can't take a big engine in the first place. So yeah, it makes sense to move that one up, but now of course it's up against some stiff competition.
Which it should, though. Like, it always has to be rearranged to go ahead and work for different types of matches. So that's okay with me. I don't mind that at all. It's good they're doing this because actually they're watching what's going on. So that's fine with me. I don't care about that.
All right, let's move on to armor redistribution for a certain number of mechs.
This is interesting.
So the total armor is the same. If you're a 35-tonner, you have, I forget how many points exactly, but it's like, let's just say 350 armor that you distribute across the whole mech. And in classic tabletop, at least, you can only put so much to the arm, so much to the side torso, center torso, etc. And all the chance to hit different components, was the same regardless of the shape of the mechs. In Mechwarrior Online, though, of course, Jenna's arms are teeny tiny, and its torsos are huge. But you're always limited by the fact that the arms are only, a certain 75% of the side torsos, and the side torsos are 75% of the CT or something like that.
Yeah.
So Jenna 2C, Cicada, Jägermech, Stalker, all these giant walking torso things are getting more armor for their side torsos, and less on their arms, proportionally speaking.
That kind of sucks for the Jägermech though, because the Jägermech definitely depends on those armor for its weapons.
Yep,
so
it's
going
going
to
to be easier to disarm.
Actually, all these mechs have that problem. Actually, the Jenner 2C, and the Cicada, and the Jaeger and the Stalker, they have that problem of having most of their weapon systems in the arms, and like I said, the torsos.
And it's an interesting question of, I mean, I think they're experimenting with this a bit. Like a whole bunch of changes after this are very much in this field of tweaking the mechs and trying to make them flatline all the performance of all the different variants. Like my question, at least quickly, would be Sun Spider. That thing's a giant torso.
Why is that done up? Yeah.
Yeah. Those side torsos could do with a little bit of redistribution because the arms are so teeny tiny. We'll have to wait and see. Like they don't actually give us the numbers for a whole bunch of these.
Well, I'm sure like once
I would say, I agree. Jägermech's arms can often catch quite a bit of flack, at least when it's torso twisting, and it may make them a lot easier to disarm. The Jenner 2C, when it's got a whole bunch of missiles in the arms become pretty big.
Well, the whole thing
Stalker, Stalker, Cicada, and regular Jenner. I think that those all would benefit quite greatly from this on average.
Also, Also, these mechs that we are talking about, the Stalker and the Jägermech. Okay. Also, the Jägermech and the Stalker. I don't know, for some reason my Discord was doing it. The Stalker and the Jägermech are mechs that should actually be backline mechs, like second line mechs, actually shooting from afar. Probably not the Stalker that much, but the Jägermech definitely though. So might have to change your playstyle to go ahead and play these mechs. And the Cicada and the Jenner 2C and the Jenner, I play them differently, I guess, but I might change it a little bit depending on what goes on, though. You know, like where the arm, It
all depends how much is being redistributed.
Yeah.
And how much your arms were actually getting hit. For me, a regular Inner Sphere Jenner was not getting its arms blown off unless it was an unlucky hit by a Gorse. And at that time, you're just happy your side torso wasn't taken off.
True.
Jenner 2C, as I was saying, had really big missile arms. And the Jägermech too, those are more oftenly hit in the arms. So it's the Stalker and Cicada, not so much necessarily. So we'll just have to wait and see. Though, at least for most of these Inner Sphere mechs, they're a lot happier having tougher side torsos, since XL engines are so much more riskier, and light engines don't give you as much benefit.
Yeah, true. Skill tree changes? I actually don't mind this. Actually, to tell you the truth, the better numbers, the better, type thing. They did a good job on this, on the reinforced casing, increased benefit to 1.5 from 1, and the mobility tree, anchor turn. I didn't really use anchor turn that much, but torso speed I definitely used, but it's leveled out to 5%. Now, what was it beforehand?
So let me just check. So, okay, the really interesting one here for me is reinforced casing. I actually quite like this one. 1% reduction in crit chance. It's just a little bit extra bit of durability, and you can really see that benefits when you've got mechs with like 25% or so.
4%.
In the skill tree, though, it was often, most people consider it a junk node, and there's 8 of them in the survival tree that you typically have to pick up. Typically. Instead of giving 8% for buying all of them, it's now going to give you, I think, like 12% extra reduction in crit chance receiving. So 50% improvement on the benefits you're getting. And this benefit stacks on top of any quirks you have. So in Atlas, some of them have like 25% crit chance receiving reduction, and you added an extra 8 to that. Well, now you're adding an extra 12 to that. It's becoming what, 37%? That's not too bad.
Definitely for like some mechs.
And to some degree, this will be an indirect nerf to machine guns, LBXs, etc. Things
that's
that
what they're talking about. Yeah.
So I don't think it's necessarily going to change the feel of the game too much, but I welcome this change. Make people feel happier spending those nodes in the survival tree.
I mean, like, I'm still thinking that machine guns will have kind of like a jam chance or something like that, but they haven't really got around to actually making those, and that will kind of piss off a lot of people. But this kind of puts a balance against crits for the machine guns going against go against your casing. So basically, you want to actually spend it on the survival tree. So this does balance it out just a little bit. Of course, they're probably gonna go test it though, but I think I still like the jam chance though, to tell you the truth.
So quickly, well, the mobility stuff, minor increases. I'm not sure, like anchor turn. I do kind of like taking anchor turn here and there, but a 1% increase is not changing things as much as a 0.5% thing on the survival. Or at least for me, I value survival so much more than all of the mobility stuff. And all of these mobility changes, the whole tree for me doesn't necessarily ever, it's going to really struggle to ever feel worthwhile, particularly these tiny incremental changes. So at least with PGI's philosophy of slow incremental changes, okay, good, you've improved the mobility tree a little. Keep going. Do it every month.
Do more.
Change 1% to everything every month.
True.
All right. And then, yes, let's go into the weapon changes for the rotary AC2. This thing has been not really worth the tonnage for quite some time.
Yeah. I've been highly, I've been using it a couple times, and really, it's underperforming, especially on like tube like on a Uzeal. Just doesn't have the punch basically that a normal like AC5 does or something like that. And with this, the damage increased by 0.1. Yeah, it's gonna help, but the jam bar save time is increased by 33%, which is gonna definitely help. And the rack 2s, I rarely ever go ahead and jam them out though.
So a way to look at this, at least, is with the racks particularly, it's a DPS weapon. You only care about the final damage per second, and obviously the tonnage you're putting in to get it.
Yeah.
The rack 2, at least, it was 2 tons less than the rack 5, and you had almost like half the DPS. Instead of 10.9, it was 5.8.
Yeah.
The DPS now with the higher damage has gone from 5.8 to 6.5. 6.5 relative to other weapons that weigh about this much is a similar DPS, like it's a bit above now a UAC 5.
Mm-hmm.
And with the 33% longer time until you jam, it's a way more reliable burst damage that a UAC 5 is. Like UAC 5 can jam every single time you try to double tap.
Yeah. But in general, though, like with rotary cannons, I mean, I'm not really afraid of those things because all the time I could just go hide behind a building, they stop, and they got to and they have to spin up the guns again. So like, it's really it's anyone who has one of these things, I could rearrange myself so that I won't get hit that much. But it is a welcome thing to have rotary 2s, just because they need it. They just need it. They need something.
Having it being able to fire for longer is certainly a good step up. It is also the more heat efficient rotary 2.
Yeah.
A rotary weapon, so to speak. So I think this thing does need these buffs. You don't want to make it too similar to the rack 5 and DPS, because then of course, why take a rack 5?
Exactly.
As they say in the notes. My big contention, or at least funny thing I want to test, would be, okay, you can fire, let's say instead of 10 seconds reliably, you fire 13.333 seconds reliably. And then you want that bar to go down, obviously. There's time in between. Does it take longer now because the bar is larger? Because all you've done is made it more reliable initially, but then you're stuck waiting for the bar to cool down. And will that negatively impact the rack 2's constant, being able to fire feel? Like you want the bar to go down quicker as well, perhaps.
Well, that's why you take the notes for it, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, at least if you're trying to balance out the weapon, just increasing the bar time, it can shoot for 20 seconds, fine, but then it takes forever to get back down to 0.
Exactly.
That would be a huge pain. So we'll have to wait and see how, that bar going down thing, is it always just this will take 5 seconds unless you invest the skill nodes type deal.
Well, maybe next week we'll go ahead and do it on next Friday and see what the difference is on the changes for the rack 2s and say yay or nay, or go from there.
Yeah, it's a bit like with the changes to Light Goose. Certainly worth picking up the weapon again and giving it a little try again. The 6.5 DPS is relatively speaking, very good compared to like a regular AC5. It weighs the same as a regular AC5, is one slot smaller, and has twice the DPS. Obviously you have to stand there and stare at the opponent, but that's a reliable, doubly effective weapon is, not to be taken lightly.
Yeah. Still, there's ways around it, but yeah, it is a tough weapon, like anyways. ER changes. This is interesting, actually, because it's all clan stuff, and this is all clanner's take. Especially the Hellbringer with 2 clan heavy large lasers and two clan medium lasers as well. So heat penalties actually got reduced down, so the Hellbringer is going to be even tougher on the battlefield.
So what this refers to ghost heat, basically, right? So heavy large lasers, it's saying the minimum heat penalty was used to be when you took your third, the minimum, it would start applying ghost heat. Now it's been put down to 2. So once you've taken your second heavy large laser, then you're getting ghost heat. So you can't just do the 4 medium dual heavy large anymore. Is that right? Like you're always having to fire 1 heavy large?
I'm not sure exactly.
Because it's saying minimum heat penalty. So this is the minimum number of weapons required before heat penalty is applied. You see?
Yeah.
And it used to be 3. Like you couldn't fire 3 heavy larges without a whole bunch of ghost heat. The magic number was 2 without penalty. The number now without penalty is 1. You can only fire 1 heavy large on its own.
That's not cool. Change. That's gonna be a huge change. Yes, you're right. That's gonna screw up a lot of builds. Oh my god, that's gonna be horrible.
Heavy medium lasers, you get your ghost heat starting at 4, so you have to fire it in groups of 3.
3, yeah.
Yeah, so you do 3 and 3. That's not too bad, but obviously at least it used to be you can fire a group of 4. You do a 40 damage alpha strike. Now it's a 30 damage alpha strike.
I mean, on average though, with the clan Hellbringer, I have two heavy large lasers and 4 ER medium lasers, and so now basically that's going to totally rack my build, and I usually get about 800 points a game. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with that now. I don't know. I don't know.
There's also some very funny interactions here, because I think the large laser category for clan weapons are linked. So if you take a heavy large, like as it stands now, if you take a heavy large and a regular large, there's no ghost heat. But if you take a large pulse, if you take any other large weapon, you've got your third one, there's ghost heat. Okay.
Yeah.
But that still applies. So you can do 2 large pulses still. You can still do 2 regular larges. But if you take any heavy large laser, you cannot fire it with another large weapon. So if you fire a heavy large and a regular large together, because people are going to try that, that's still going to actually produce ghost heat, because the way the logic works is it counts from the weapon with the most restrictive penalty, which in this case is the heavy large. So heavy larges can't be combined with any other larges without ghost heat. That's how it's working.
Wow. This is going to be interesting. I have to rebuild that thing now. Damn it. That sucks.
I mean, the simplest retrofit is you turn the 2 heavy larges back to regular larges. Yes, the extra range you're getting isn't so fun, and you're not put such a huge alpha strike. But that was basically how the build was run before, anyway.
True. Well, how about me? And how about large pulse lasers then? I can still have 2,
so large
right?
pulse lasers, you can still fire 2 at once. Okay. But obviously, if you have any heavy larges and you fire a large pulse with it, you're getting ghost heat.
I'll probably just switch out the heavy larges to large pulse lasers then, and then keep my 4 ER medium lasers, and that should actually work out fine.
The other big change, of course, is medium lasers, medium pulse lasers. It used to be able to fire 6 at once, a huge boom of alpha strike, and a whole bunch of mechs out there, like a Marauder 2C classic build, you do 6 medium pulse lasers. Or even more, maybe sometimes, because the ghost heat's not too bad. That has been reduced 2 numbers down to 5. So basically, you can only fire 4 medium lasers together before you start. If you add an extra medium laser, the 5th medium laser will start generating ghost heat for you.
Lots of testing. That's okay. I don't mind that.
This is going to change the whole, or at least for a fair number of clan mechs, this will change the laser boating game entirely, because a lot of them will do something like dual Gorse and 6 medium lasers.
Yeah. Yep.
That's going to generate a whole bunch of ghost heat, and it was hot enough already. So you're going to strip out 2 of those mediums, and I don't know, put in a single large or something. I don't know. Obviously, yeah, the dual heavy large laser meta or whatever is going to be, hugely reduced. Now, if you're taking a heavy large ever, it's only one of them. Fire it once at a time.
I don't know if I could do that though, to tell you the truth, because like my hands have,
Yeah.
I have like some type of arthritis, and so like doing the mouse buttons sucks, and so I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
This is gonna
like
suck.
The classic, if you think of the energy boat hunt sheet, you would do something like 4 mediums and 2 heavy large, and firing 1 big huge alpha strike.
Yeah.
You could possibly even go up to like 6 mediums if you're crazy.
Yeah.
Now though, you kind of want to, the best you can do is like 4 mediums and 1 heavy large. So you strip out the heavy large and put regular larges in and all that type of stuff instead.
Well, they're probably wanting people to go and do like a diverse build. So like you have ballistics, and then also you have like lasers and stuff like that. So it's changing the alpha strike from everyone just does laser meta, and now it's going to be like, okay, well, you're going to have like an AC-10 and then also 4 medium lasers and a heavy large laser or something like that. So it's changing the meta.
If you're like the Marauder 2C, a whole bunch of them are just energy boats. Like there's not much saving them. Instead, there are some with ballistic, but I'm just saying those particular variants that are all energy, it changes everything for them. How effective they are on the battlefield. This almost should affect their Solaris ranking somewhat as well, depending on how really badly this affects clan laser vomit.
Yeah,
but also supernovas, whole bunch of energy boats in them as well.
Actually, most of the mechs out now are just energy boats, like from the last couple mechs, that came out for the to go purchase. So this is going to really kind of screw up different type of builds for them, or they're going to have to diverse different things for them though. So it's gonna be a dynamic change. That's interesting. I wonder why they did that though.
I think this is a good change in some respects. At least I would say clan laser vomit has become very prevalent in the meta. Yeah. And we've seen a huge decline, at least in quick play, of stuff like Daka and missiles to a degree, just because that dual heavy large plus a whole bunch of mediums gives such a brilliant long range pinpoint alpha strike, a huge amount of damage for not much tonnage invested. Yeah, this was a huge problem, so to speak, in the game if you wanted to do other things.
Now, do you know if they have like a spreadsheet of like all the different weapons, like say for the inner medium lasers or anything? I'm just curious if they have that.
What do you mean, like in Ghost Heat? And stuff?
Yeah, Ghost Heat. Yeah.
Sana. No, not Sana. What's it? The place that does all the spreadsheet stuff. They have a really good.
Okay.
The Smurfy, that's it. Smurfy. Okay. Smurfy has a weapons page where they, it shows all the stats, all the numbers, and there's also a Ghost Heat section down below where it explains weapons are, put into groups, and this is, the different limits and how much extra Ghost Heat you generate, etc., etc. So they'll have to update that, of course. But that is the premier resource I would say point anyone towards if you're looking for Ghost Heat.
So stuff. Smurfy.
Yeah, Smurfy. They have a good job on that. All right. Yep, big changes to clan lasers. Let's move on quickly. We've got a little bit of time left. Banshee's always been a big giant walking CT. It's good that these mechs are the ones without the CT quirks are getting them.
Yes.
Annihilator 1X and 2A are getting reductions to all their torso. Base armor.
They're tanks, dude. I'm sorry. Like every single time I fight these things, it's scary. So this is good. It's a good change. It's a very good change.
Somewhat. I'd say at least they already had a little nerf before, and they aren't exactly the fastest moving mechs. Like, they need that survival stuff to be able to win trades with their Taka.
Yeah.
I think these 2 variants are the most commonly used, and if you still want to annihilate a Daka, there's another variant out there. I think it's the 1A. Because they're changing the 2A. Yeah, the 1A also mounts a whole bunch of Daka, so put your dual heavy goose or whatever on that, and run that until they nerf it.
Yeah, and the Atlas is getting the armor and quirks redone. So that's kind of interesting.
The quirks, it's different this time because it's the quirks. The extra stuff they put on top has been put more onto the side torsos.
Yeah.
Atlases do get a bit side torsoed a bit too quickly. Nice enough.
Yeah.
Fafnir, they're rebalancing it as well, so they're moving side torso armor to the center torso. We've seen Fafnirs get called out a lot.
Yes.
So this is a welcome change. It's 6 extra armor, the CT. Nice enough.
Yeah, it's okay.
Mancat Mark 2's getting a nerf.
Yeah, reduced by to 80 from 85. That's not too much, though.
Not much.
Yeah.
Slowly, they're reining in its agility, the ability for it to, what's that? Base torso yaw and base. Oh yeah, okay. So different variants are getting different reductions. Okay. Yeah, so they can't turn their torsos left and right as much. Well, it is such a brilliant chassis, at least in quite a lot of aspects. So reducing its ability to look around helps quite a bit.
True. Weapon retrofits, spider variants, shadow variants, or Shadowhawk variants, Dwarfnex, and the Rifleman. So this is kind of cool because I want to start using more of my Shadowhawks, to tell you the truth. I've been enjoying the Shadowhawk. It's been a fun mech to play, and it's one of my favorite mechs to play. So thank God I'm going to be able to shoot my cannon. It's going to look really cool. So I'm happy about that.
If you have, at the moment, if you put a Rack 5 in your Shadowhawk, it looks like a UAC 5.
Yes.
Yeah. And it doesn't do the whole spinning on the spot thing like it should. You know, it's sometimes does a turn. But now it will have Rack 5s modeled on it. It will have a whole bunch of missile tubes modeled for its MRMs or whatever.
Yep.
And little different barrels for the machine guns if you're doing that.
Yeah, true. Okay,
and that's it's just a cosmetic mostly.
Art fixes, pretty much any different things going on in Loud Jungle, the Mech Factory, some different things going on there. And
it's funny, these funny odd one, like it says art fixes, but Grim Plexus, they're saying they're adjusting the spawns, the capture point, and generator locations for domination.
Thank God.
Actually that's a gameplay change.
That's a game changer, basically. That's a game changer. Holy cow.
So keep an eye out, guys, for Grim Plexus domination. Let's see how the spawns play. I would say typically at least one side has more of an advantage pushing into that central area than the others, and the other side spawns, it feels much further away, and it's a lot harder for them to get into that circle. The capture points location has changed, so I'm not sure where we'll be fighting around, but
it'd be good if they actually reduce down the circle and just have it around the just in the center of the map, like in the water, and that's it. So there's no cover, basically. They have to just go in balls to the wall, just have her like right there, the end. That'd be kind of cool.
I mean, it mostly plays like that, but at least with my
actually one side has this
cover.
Basically one side pushes, then that side wins, pretty much. Type thing.
And also that when they say art fixes, they say things like add the Solaris maps to testing grounds.
Ooh, that'd be good. That's good for us, actually.
Yeah, if you want to have your, if you're a YouTuber, you can have them make fun around the Solaris maps and you do all the camera stuff there, at least on your own.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So, that's nice. But again, why is it under art fixes? That's not art.
They had to do this quickly by 4:30 to get it out for us, so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm really glad they gave us all these bits and pieces like that. So
definitely, man. Definitely. Okay. Assignments for various mech variants. Okay, and more voiceover lines to Solaris 7. Good. Very good.
Lower ELO to 1,700 to spectate the spectate watch list.
I haven't watched anybody yet, to tell you the truth.
Well, yeah, that's because they put the they said only the best. The way it's set up is only the best players you can spectate once you've reached a certain ELO. But obviously, when it started, nobody's that high. And I'm not sure has anyone even reached those heights yet, but lowering the bar at least means there's more chance there'll be actually somebody to watch and Solaris will change.
Exactly, that'd be nice. So, like, what do we got for? Okay, so that is a patch notes. Wow, we went over the patch notes like crazy. That's okay though. That's exactly like what we want, and this is fine. So, like, what do you want to do next?
We have to cover the other bits, like there's a motherload sale. Right on, 40% off a whole bunch of mechs. Basically, anything past, I think it's the Bushy that's come out, has 40% off. Though there are some caveats, I think. Stuff like the Hellspawn is available for MC, but it's not on sale.
Roughnecks, Javelins.
Yeah.
Use heals. Like, yeah, you know, it's not bad. If you got some MC and everything else, go ahead and spend it.
If you've been building up MC, yeah, that's some stuff to buy. And this, of course, covers the stuff like the Resistance heroes, the Clan heroes. A lot of those are on sale as well, and that's why at least to spend the MC.
Okay.
I think you get, 30% cheaper MC bundles as well for the sale?
Yeah. You get extra like MC for the bundles, basically, which is fine. That's good. You get 30%, right?
They want people back. Come back to us from Battletech.
Exactly. Okay. So what's next on there? We have the new city map, Slaughter Steels. Yeah, the Mayday thing.
The Mayday.
Overall, it's been great because you get a lot of MC. That's pretty much like what I want to go say. And the last one, which is Tryhard, oh my god, you get like what 600 or something like that.
300, 200, and 100, so 600 MC in total. Yep.
Crazy. If you haven't done that, do it. 500 match score is really easy to do with a AMS mech. So just run in there and take missiles. Really easy to do, guys.
I mean, I think this will be a challenge to some pilots out there. It's not trivial to get 500 match score, but at least with Tryhard in trying to get 500 match score, you guys have like a week or so to do this. So
that's good. That's very good.
You have to have, throughout the week, at some point you need just 2 good games, guys. 2 really good games.
Yep. So next up, really quick, we got Battletech Dev reveals future of the game for Battletech. This is like one of the things that we've been talking about a lot of what they can do, and this is what they're pretty much thinking about doing. Now, they have decided to go and do both paid and free DLCs. So I'm thinking they'll probably do like a mission update. They'll do like expansions, like different types of missions you can do, or like raise the difficulty like level for a DLC for free, and then paid ones will be like the Force Succession War, which will be the same game engine, but it'll be different. Like you'll be part of the Force Succession War, doing that kind of thing. So they have to actually work on that, but at least they have the engine already done to go do this. They have it already done from Harebrained Schemes to go and actually develop this, and all they gotta do is just copy paste stuff and go put it in there, do a couple other things like, you know, basically like put in planets and everything, and they got it done. So that's a good thing instead of like doing from the ground up. So that's good. They also decided to go and do to up the difficulty like level, which is amazingly cool, because I find that, you know, like I'm sure Biter found this, is that it's really easy to go ahead and just bait the enemy team, like bait the AI into doing something. So this is actually a good thing that they will do, because you could crank it up to 11 and then just get your ass whooped. And so that's definitely awesome. I like that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, ultimately, at least as I said, this game, Battletech was a solid foundation, though obviously at least there's a lot more life that could be injected into the game, a lot more depth that be put into the mechanics, so that you really feel like you're managing a mercenary company, and being able to send off light to medium mechs to do non-combat stuff,
like
to make them still relevant later on. Yeah, garrison duty, whatnot. Keeps them relevant and actually makes you want to keep them in your mech bay, so to speak, I think. So that will all be nice, and at least this is our source for this, at least if you want to look it up yourself, is on Sana on the news, where they basically do a rundown that they've looked through the AMA that they were doing, and give a rundown of all the bits and pieces. I think it's still very much up in the air where Harebrained Schemes are going. We don't have anything solid, but obviously there's a lot of cards on the table, a lot of ways they could expand. And as I keep referencing, at least there's a lot of great things that XCOM has done that they could learn from.
True. It's good that they have like so much to do. So that's gonna be a definite thing I'm looking forward to in the Battletech game and the Battletech universe, and plus the creators of Battletech. So it's gonna be great. So I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm happy about this. Very happy.
All right, and the other thing, at least we said we would touch on, is Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries. I think we missed a trailer that came out exclusively, I think, on IGN. A Destruction teaser trailer. This came out in the middle of April, so we're a little delayed in covering this. But basic thing is, I said I would say this is a good step up in terms of the production quality of the trailers they're doing. It's not some random guy spazzing out on the controls. It's I don't remember what the name of the tune is, but it's
I know. And the greatest thing, like I'm watching now, like is a Hunchback killing a bunch of guys, and actually the physics is it ragdolling the guys up. You know, basically when he shoots an AC-20 round. I think it's great. I love it.
As at least with those little guys there, they're probably demoing or trying out little people and non-combat vehicles there, and they put it in the video to make people, go, ooh. Now it's always, it's a trailer. Don't trust it. That will be in the final game, or at least until they really confirm that yes, there will be infantry. But hey, we saw little infantrymen running around, and just going on from what I said last week, Mechwarrior Online does way better with music and making you, feel pumped for their games. Because with this Destruction teaser trailer, as I said, with the tune, every single time there's the big, beat, they have an explosion happen.
Exactly.
Is fitting for Destruction, and they're really inventive with the shots they're doing. So it starts like with an Atlas blasting through the wall, blowing up a tank in front of it, turning to a turret, and blowing that up to the beat, blowing up another one. And like there's things like the Shadowhawk shoots down a helicopter and it lands on another tank, and they both blow up. And there's even there's death from above with a catapult. Like, it's a simple enough trailer. I've seen most of these mechanics already, but it's good to see somebody sit down and make something really nicely produced and have fun, because you want to make people energized. And that's what I'm saying, at least with my hopes with the Mechwarrior team. They have some very charismatic personalities there, but they sure know how to make big stompy robots.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. I definitely loved it. And as a video creator myself, and I want to do that now, so I'll be doing a couple of those videos pretty soon.
You almost should do that with your changing the faction thing. That's still
look at me, I'm changing to clan. Can you see? Da da da. Yeah, I know you are. I can try. I can try.
Now I'm Lao. Now I'm Merrick.
I know. Oh, shit.
This idea just expands until it becomes never feasible to complete. But we just love the idea so much.
I know. Okay, damn, I gotta make it now. Okay, anyways, so okay. It's Beethoven's Fifth Overture. That's a song.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it.
And thanks, Epic. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's it, right? That's all we had for the podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, everybody, thank you for watching. I know, and you guys are awesome. You got a great community of Mechwarriors, Battletech players, and just good group of friends that we hang out with all the time. And thank you very much. This is the First Circuit podcast number 39, and God, 40 is next. Holy cow, 48 episodes.
We'll come back next week to enjoy all those Clanner tears.
Yes, the Clanner tears will be flowing like rain. Oh, goody goody. So, anyways, you guys have a good night, and I'll see you on the battlefield.
Cheers.
Cheers.